Mid-right, I think.
At this point, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we can rename it later.
Yep. I think at this point, they'll just be happy someone's doing it. So.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
spontaneously.
Yeah.
So Brian Fred is putting up the table light side. I think Yoshi won, right? With 5 differential.
I believe that was the outcome. Yes, it was really close. Sam randomly messaged me on Friday and asked to just play a test game because he wanted to get some reps. And he was like, I want to play against my kind of scum. I was like, okay. And I thought, there's no way he's going to be able to keep this close. And hey, B-Fred made it a game. So,
Yeah.
yep.
At the start, I thought, yeah, it's winning much higher, but I just skipped through it. So, yeah, I haven't watched it. Haven't watched the whole game. And we have CCT against QMC. Nice. What do you think about that matchup?
It depends on the build of CCT. Is Sam going to be able to pressure him enough at the system? I know Wirfs and Mike Turner were playing a version that was like all out on space to try and keep him off the system. But it's going to be a lot of battle, retrieve. We'll see if Sam can keep Ancient Watering Hole off the table. It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think I was wrong, by the way, and Brian won by 5, right?
I'm going to verify that just to be sure.
Yeah,
But
Brian
yeah.
Fred won 5 plus, yes. 30 in lost pile to 32 in lost pile from Yoshi. Either way, I think who wins this game wins the match because 5 is basically nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially with a deck that's going to retrieve as much as CCT. They both put a lot on the table though, so that's going to be interesting. And
He
how
definitely
light is Sam? Go ahead.
he definitely needs a Yoda in space, I think, to limit the destinies because, yeah, otherwise probably QMC will kick him out of space if they found everything.
Mm-hmm.
And both have force pile pulled, so they all can dig for what they want.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be a 4-hour game. Thank goodness for the chess timers. So
Are you
it's going to
thinking
be a.
he's playing masterful move combo, this
Mm.
Yoshi? Because
I mean,
there
I
will
would
be a lot
think.
of retrieval.
Yeah, I would almost think you kind of have to, um, because Brian hasn't played QMC a lot, but it is something. It's one of the better light side decks. You want to have a plan for it.
Yeah. What's good
All
for
right. So.
QMC is CCD usually doesn't make a ton of pressure at the start
Mm-hmm.
because they want to flip. They want to get to Tatooine. It's not like Thrawn who's going to the system turn 1 or something like that. So should be
Right.
an easy flip for both of them.
Yeah, and I don't imagine Brian's going to pressure the audience chamber much, if at all. I would imagine he's going to be focused on doing his pings. I will be curious to see if Sam is playing mid and can get him at the system to stop some of the movement, or at least make it more expensive in terms of force loss for Brian to move around. So. Um, and the other thing is that Sam plays QMC quite a bit, so he absolutely knows this matchup from the other side. So it'll be interesting to see if he can leverage that to his advantage.
And if I would be the CCT player, I'm not that experienced, but I would definitely go very light on my audience chamber and trying to focus all my forces on attacking him on Cloud City. And if the problem is here, it basically negates his -1 from the scum if Lightside controls the system. So yeah.
All right, so Sam did not miss the audience chamber pull turn 1, so yay for that. So we should see Boba Fett come down to the security tower. He's going to get a gun, because that's what he does. We see Despair hit the table. this is going to be a pretty standard start. The question is going to be what else was in Sam's force pile when he draws up.
I don't know if he cares that much. I think he moves either way. Or you?
Oh, you absolutely are.
He moves for free anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah. If he plays
okay. You mean if he wants to save something or if he draws up? He probably draws up.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to draw up.
Yeah. Build a hand, and then maybe the turns after you can save some force, because then if you have your droid there, IG-88, you can pick what you want from the force pile, and you can save the force you don't need.
All right. So we see the flip. And Sam's going to draw.
Yeah. And now it's a drain of 2, right?
Yeah, from despair.
Yeah. So probably Harkseth, turn 1, as always.
I mean, you know that Sam has a ship in his opening hand, but you kind of need the activation bump from Hark. Hopefully you have a barrier. I don't know that you're going to flip turn 1 because you may need to get a couple more sites, but it's a judgment call based on what else is in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, you can pull the sides later from the force pile, but then it's a wasted force pile pull.
Wasting an action. Yeah. All right, so we see the West Gallery come down.
It also depends if he has enough defensive interrupts in hand, because you can't just blindly flip and then don't have any outs.
Yep. So now we see Hark and the Overseer come out. Where Brian decides to place his sights is going to be interesting. He put the West Gallery between the 1-0 and the testing chamber, and trying to put as much space in between the security towers. So, all right, we just see battle plan, and I imagine Brian will save 3.
I mean, Discord is keeping harassing me, but I don't think you see it. I think I just, and not your call, but all the DMs. Picking up. You might. No. You might. Some Star Wars Unlimited guys always looking for games or something like that.
All right, so Brian is drawing up to 10, leaving 2 in his force pile.
Probably.
I think he's debating if he wants that last. Yep, he drew and is saving 1.
Yeah, I would save 1 just for bluffing a barrier, even if I don't have one. You have to make them think.
Sometimes I like to say 3 to bluff that I have the alternatives, but I imagine Sam probably. It'll be interesting if he pays the 3 to drain for 2 now.
I think it's not worth it.
I imagine no.
It depends.
Yeah, he did.
So if the droid would have been active, he definitely would have drawn up. Probably. Or pull if he's not active, maybe he can pull the Java. I don't know if he plays him, which then can pull the droid.
Duro is who he's looking for, but he has to, let's see.
Oh.
Brian's losing. He lost Lisa and Sand. He lost Lisa from hand and Sand from reserve deck. I don't like Sand's going to be a key card, and we see Sam play an Imperial Artillery to add another force loss.
He might think about grabbing that one. I mean, if he plays the ping effect later, it gets a lost interrupt, but still they can retrieve it all the time, and then he can track a 7. So,
and Brian lost Chewie with Bowcaster. This is giving Sam vital information. It's telling him that Brian's running a version of QMC that is not playing Han, Chewie, and the Falcon.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's going to be probably, I mean, Sam's pretty familiar with this. His version of QMC goes back and forth between running solo and Chewy with Bowcaster, and depending on the meta, I guess HCF's the right call. So, all right, so he did get his Scum pull, so he knows what's in his reserve deck.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see if we get the Java or not. Nope, straight to battle phase.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if
To your
we...
point,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, to your point, he would have known, and if he activated IG, he's probably drawing till he finds it.
But then it's the problem. If you have to draw too much and get over 14, they might pull the shield, and you might have not enough used interrupts to get below 15.
At that point, you just pull your own shield. I mean, I doubt that.
You still lose cards in hand, but then at least you save the card you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a dark time to activate a force. So, Sam must have found it, wanted to get, an extra card.
Saving 3. So now I guess we see a flip from after side pull from Brian.
Imagine, I mean, Brian lost 2 of his aliens to keep Watering Hole going, but, if he gets Celebration, that can be negated. Lee sub's always interesting because it's just an extra way to take up force loss. So
Is this side usually being played? I'm not
the Incinerator,
that experienced
so
with.
Team 5 at the Indianapolis event was running it as just another place to, add to a drain. It's a drain -1.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty safe space for you to get on. And most of the time they're parking it in is it an Akora or the little alien that can react away.
Yeah.
So we see Kate, how fast and Maz come down to flip. Can't imagine they're both staying in those 2 locations.
Yeah, I mean, Path of the Least. They probably have. He has Path of the Least Resistance, or at least he can pull something now from his force pile after he flipped. There are not many good cancelers for that, and I don't expect CCT to run Sense or something like that.
I would agree, because the highest ability they're gonna have on table is Mara Jade at 5. So
you might even grab that one.
Oh,
I mean, it's a
absolutely,
lost
Path is a
interrupt,
grab.
but I think still make him pay much more.
Yeah, you want to tax the evasion as much as possible in this matchup. So Path is always a grab, and then we see Yoxkit go down to the 1-0 for free.
The thing is,
which is nice because
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because now if Brian, draws an alien for Destiny, he can cancel and redraw, so that'll be nice. And we see the wild card come out. I imagine
Still light on space.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with QMC is if they have celebration running, they can recycle their lost interrupts and pull it again if they are down at at 15 force or something like that. And then they can play like alternative defining or pass of the least resisting on and on and on. And so you sometimes have to grab a lost interrupt. And he draws a bunch. Let's see if he saves 3 for the alternative to fighting. Are CCTs running draw the first strike these days?
I will see some that run the battle order first strike combo, or they will just run first strike because, again, taxing, the pressing your advantage for the retrieval is good and causing additional loss.
So
And
yeah,
go ahead.
he's going super aggressive to the 2-0, but now he's asking for a revert. I wonder. I wonder why he wants to revert. I mean, you can't really. I mean,
Yeah.
he can even revert that he saves more force because Brian knows his force pile anyway.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
wonder.
usually it would be a strange reward if you then saves like 3 force
Yeah.
after he drew one more. But yeah, I guess it's a little bit different here in this case. And
Yeah, and Sam denies the revert probably only for that reason, because information was gained based on that last card.
yeah, I mean, draw phase doesn't. He didn't say why he wants the reward. Maybe he wants to draw one more. So
He didn't. He simply said, when Sam asked for what purpose, Brian wrote, just decline. If it is a no, I can't see the chat. So,
okay.
so we're into Sam's control phase. He has 17 force.
Are
Which
they
in CCT feels like a billion with the scum discount.
teammates?
Yes.
Okay.
So Sam paid 1 to try and take He's All Yours Bounty Hunter and miss. I think Sam wanted to verify what was in his reserve deck.
Then no other way. Okay, he wants to probably grab an alien, as we said, and he probably wants to save some shields and not pull the just to save one
Fanfare.
force the
Yep.
shield which can verify your deck.
Fanfare.
Yeah, fanfare. I'm so bad with
Um,
names. Just know what the cards are
hey, and
doing.
I'm only 3 years old playing this game, so I'm trying to learn them. So I wonder if Sam was trying to figure out what the 3 force he used to pay to drain were. Because he knew everything else, um, in his deck from verifying it the turn before when he
Yeah.
pulled Scum.
Yeah, yeah, it's maybe, but then he has to be really good at memorizing his deck, which he probably
Uh,
is. Yes.
Sam is methodical.
He probably searching for some key cards. I don't think he
Mhm.
can recall. Maybe he can recall every card, but probably just the important
Yep.
ones.
Yep.
And
So
if
now go ahead.
and if he wants to get to the last 3 cards, he have to spend a lot of force now.
Mhm. We see Sam did pay to drain, and we see Brian lose Luke Skywalker, The Last Jedi from hand, and a Cloud City Celebration from reserve deck. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that's big if he doesn't play 2. And there is no way to pull like okay, there is a way to pull Kuinita to get it into hand with his with his objective. Not
He could
objective,
also be
effective.
running effective effective repairs and Starship Levitation combo that can get an effect back.
Yeah, true.
It's pricey, but Celebration is absolutely key in this matchup.
So now
So we,
he has a cheaper verifier with
mm-hmm.
Nalhata. He can
Yeah.
check his reserve in the control phase. But usually, if you know when you get your droid out, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean by turn 4, it should be the latest you get your droid out. Then you know your reserve deck anyway because you know your first pile.
All right. So we see Slave One and Woof come down to now Hutta, and we see Blast Controls come out from Sam. He's down to 9 cards in hand, 10 now 6 because he plays Dr. E to the Carbonite chamber in front of Maz.
So probably a path now. Oh.
Here's the battle order first strike combo that we were just talking about.
And no other character. So he just
Right.
he
And you
wanted
don't,
to
I mean,
spend
if you,
force to get
yeah,
down to his.
if you had a path, you'd want to use it before the battle so it doesn't cost extra. So with the despair, oh, I was wrong. He's now doing it.
And he goes
He's
aggressively.
Yeah. So he's pathing KCF into the battle, which fine, it adds one more power. I mean, you're down 6 already, so
I mean, he
um,
reduces his. If he draws higher, he reduces the other
yeah.
destiny to 0. So then
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't get overflow by sacrificing
Right.
Kull. But so
Right.
yeah, probably too low. And you can
Especially with the
also
Maz -1.
yeah. So it's a 0, but still overflow. So he probably doesn't peel. And it was big to
I think
stay
Brian's
at 2
thinking about.
battlegrounds
Mm-hmm.
because now he can drain here
Yeah.
and doesn't. Yoshi can't play the shield. Sam.
Yeah, and so Brian drew Yaxkit V originally and then chose to use Yaxkit on table to cancel and redraw and drew a path, which um, he lost one card, the Yaxkit that he drew, to keep both characters on table. So that,
Went very well for
yeah,
Brian.
I mean, it cost him a path and took Doctory off the table for the moment. So Sam's now just drawing.
Yeah, but he's training for 1, 2, 3, 4 now, if I'm not incorrect.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5, right?
Yeah, 1 at the system and then
Yeah.
2 at the. Yep.
So is Carl an alien, which counts to? Yes, he has a species.
Yeah, so he's at 3 at the moment.
But I think Mast doesn't count, right? Yes, he doesn't count.
Correct.
You played a lot of QMC, I think. I didn't.
I tried to pick up a new deck for each one of the majors this year because I had been playing the same decks at all the majors. So before the Indianapolis event, I spent like a month trying to teach myself QMC because I thought it was the best deck. And I went and I played terrible, but I know what most of the cards do.
I've played QMC maybe 3 games. In 2, I thought, man, this deck is so strong. In the 3rd, I thought, man, I can't play it very well. So I need probably 20 more games to play it well.
All right, so Brian's doing his tunnel, and I've been told always drain first, then tunnel, but maybe you just want to set up your turn knowing before you do that because every card they lose is information, but I'm not sure that it's absolutely correct, but that's just something I've been told many times.
I think it's if he has to pay to train, you definitely make the tunnel
Yeah.
first. But I think,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it doesn't really matter what he does first here, unless you play something interrupts which can add to the force train. But I don't think that's the case here.
Right, so we see he did his Moz, missed, and then we see a drain of 2 at the security tower. We see Accelerate and Java's Haven. We then see the drain at the Carbonite chamber, and that's Comscan and Forlom. And the one at the system, which is Cad Bane. So those are some key cards, especially Haven. But I mean, now Hada's on table, but you do miss the once per game, take anyone into hand. So we see Leia's Resistance Transport come down in front of Slave 1. Here's the barrier from Sam. Does Brian have a barrier canceller?
I'm opening the stream here to see if there are some questions or something. Oh, they're just joking.
Yeah, Garrett's just joking. He thinks 20 games, so you have it done. I would have said 20 games, so you mean by Thursday.
I mean, I play less at the moments than people think. But
there's a
yeah,
the other thing that we shall not talk about.
So the raid pool is big, of course, but he had to pay 2 because of the shield.
Mm-hmm.
And now he gets a use spell pull. And did he already make his 4 spell pull? Probably pulled
the
he
did that before the drain.
Yeah, he probably. Yeah, he probably pulled the resistant transport to kick him out of space, I guess, because that would have been huge. Then he can also play the shield that he doesn't retrieve one. But now he's buried. Still, if Yoshi can't find Sam can't find his droid, he probably drew him in the last cards. He has also problems finding his ships, and then he can't compete in space.
Yeah. Dylan, I'm gonna have to pause for a minute to answer a work call. I'll be back on in a couple minutes.
So another pilot here probably activates 2 when he puts something in the use pile to activate 2 more. Does Wolf Drawing is on? Nope. Not that I think. So if he has another ship, unlikely. That's probably a space package like 2 layers resistance transport, wild card. Wild card? What? Yeah, something like that. And the Overseer. And there are the musicians, the Muddle Notes, Fig Rindan, and the Muddle Notes. I wonder if he wants to stack here to discourage him from fighting. But super cautious, but this guy alone here is also quite risky if you don't have any defensive interrupt, which I can't imagine. I mean, he has the pulls. I would say until you stabilized, those have pretty big priority in your pulling order. Okay, he's backing him up. So this should be drain of 3 now. Yes. Drain of 2. And drain of 3. So Sam, if he can't fight, he definitely should satisfy ultimatum as soon as possible. Okay, So I'm straining for 2 and then probably retrieving 1. And then he has to do something in space here. And maybe put down any guy somewhere if he can't fight, just to satisfy the shield. If you have stuff like hidden weapon, you might go here to try to land a beatdown. So there's the retrieval. But first, when is IG-88 coming down here? He has so much to do this turn. Put his droid down. Back up space. Satisfy ultimatum. Will be a key turn. Transferring the weapon to him. And now probably the captive too. What does it? I think it only works during move phase. So much decks I have to play. I think I should play more. I should play more. Maybe I'm bluffing. Maybe I'm bluffing the decks I'm not playing in the OCS and then playing CCT and QMC. So there is the backup for space. That's 2 things I said he should do. And maybe receive the third too. Or the attack. Okay. If he would have hidden weapon in hand, he might have went there. But then he can't move out to a battleground. Because there is a non-battleground in between. Which also sucks. Oh, we might see a battle here. Probably has a gook. Having a lone Django there. He adds with the leader, so I think we are at 2 destinies now. There is the ultimatum I talked about, and now we see an attack for free and maybe a retrieval of 2. Or maybe not, if he decides not to pay 2. Maybe he doesn't even attack. So 2 destiny. I think the destiny draws are -1. Yes. Yes. But then again, +2 to total from Ray. So it's, yeah. And he pays 2 to retrieve the 2. Let's just check the immunity quick. It's less than 4, and here is no immunity normally. Yes. Destiny is underwhelming, I would say. Now, and he cracks the immunity. So it's 4 becomes a 5 becomes a 4 and becomes a 5 again from Ray. So it's has to lose 5. Let's just check. Wolf, he only satisfies 4. So he probably needs to lose his Jabba, because otherwise he wouldn't draw a Destiny again next turn. And so these down to 1 Destiny again. And we might see a counter beat here. Not a beat, so he can't really overflow him, but he could kick him out of space if he gets to a total Destiny of 7. Probably also see attack here Jango Fett. Now we see the transferring of the captive to the droid, that he can finally start making his force spell pulls. And which we shouldn't forget, the captive can always be moved to here if you need an additional 2 force retrieval. So CCT can retrieve so much force, 1 every turn, then 2 from attacking, or more from attacking if you attack at multiple locations. And the 2 for 1 time saying, okay, my captive is here. Then you're picking up again and everything's good. And Brian is pulling a Hutchix. Did we see a reward here? Maybe he used the wrong action of the escape pod before. I didn't see it. And another force spell pull. From the leftover force. From the force which was left over. So let's see what Brian decides to do. If he goes hard after Django, if he tries to kick him out of space, if he tries both. We will see a drain of 6 now. So it's 2-2-2. Because it would be 3 here and 3 here, but ultimatum, yes, 3 battlegrounds. Losing Jabba Space Cruiser. He probably would have wanted to keep it, but he lost it from reserve alongside Afra. And now Kuinita and also Imperial Artillery. Artillery. And there at Bespin, Greedo and Probot. Ooh, this doesn't... That hurts. 6 force hurts. But CCG, as I said, can retrieve a lot, so they just need locations to attack. And that's probably why Brian said, okay, I'm not spreading out that hard. I don't want to make cheap attack options. Chris Schönetal or Schöntal says, first time seeing my face. Yeah, you weren't at Worlds. That's a shame for an advocate. So, but yeah, I forgive you. Okay, now we are at 2 destinies here. So the 7, yeah, the dream of the 7 is real. Still -1, but then again +1 again from Ray. Guys, talk about the game, not about my... how to say it? Okay, no. Okay, that would have been the wrong guy to attack Django because it's a Jedi, this lady, and then Django adds one destiny with a Jedi. So if you go again attacking Django, he might also be afraid of the hidden weapon. But we saw another revert. Man, Brian, you're not Paul Myers. And decides to put the Jedi and Jar Jar. He probably only wants enough forfeit fodder to not lose his important guys, which is Rey and Din Djarin. Because he knows if he can kick them out of space... Does the Jedi add another one? Oh yes. Then it makes totally sense. So he needs a 7 with 3 destiny. He knows which one from the button is his masterful, his Hujix puller. So there is the 5, which gets a 4. So every destiny is -1. There we see it. So he definitely knew about that one. It's an 8. And a 3 plus 1 from Rey gets 12 total. He also gets rid of the ship. Damn. That's a big turn for Brian. 13? Is there another one which adds 1 to the total? Would love to check it, but I don't want to interrupt the action here. But now I can check it. So this is 1 to total. The watering hole. Thanks, Dan. You see, I never played that crappy effect. So that's really big. At the moment, I can't see a way for Sam to win this, especially by more than 5. But it's still early in the game. I don't know his space package. He has a lot of force, so he might be able to pay to drain and pull something. But just retrieving 1 and making 2 damage, it's not good enough here against the 6 damage. And at the moment, it's even more. At the moment, it is not even satisfying ultimatum. So it's 2, 5, 8, and here's 3 also because he can't modify, right? No, it's only at Cloud City where he can't modify properly. So 10 force loss at the moment. Sam has to do something against that. Definitely good for Sam that Brian at least lost his celebration early. So yeah, best bin locations. And he needs an alien. Yeah, aliens are here enough, but it's no Bespin location. So it's only a drain of 2. The ship gets retrieved. If he has Sakas, could attack here. I think he lost the Forlom very early. I think he didn't retrieve it because then he would draw 2 in space. There's a pilot. No, this is no pilot. Reability 7. There is enough ability. So if he can attack in space with Sakas, then it's here. But with 1 destiny, you might even, you might even lose the battle. Although the other side's destiny is, I think he has to. Sorry for checking. And then he adds to total power. Whew. It's also not a good idea. If we can kick him from that location, that would be incredibly good for Sam, because then he doesn't satisfy battle plan and has to pay to drain, and might even go. I don't know how many aliens he would have left to have to count after that to make anything watering hole goal. So he has to do it. He probably knows that it's incredibly risky here, and he might lose the chance to come back in the game if that battle doesn't go the way he wants. But he has to try something. So this guy isn't played very much, and if he plays this Sakas, he might not even run Sakas and Misty Hunter. He can exclude someone from battle. But if he excludes someone, he can't clear the site. That's the downside of it. And he pays the drain to retrieve 2. Roof and the young Thrawn guy. Oh man, the young Thrawn guy. So his destiny isn't -1 now, but if he draws low, it's a 0. You could have thought about excluding that guy, but maybe he knows his destiny. Maybe he knows it's big enough. Maybe it's just gambling. And he needs to get to 4 because every alien is here immune to less than 4. Maybe that's why I excluded him, because he thought, okay, if I don't exclude him, I might even not crack the 4. And if I now crack the 4, I might even have a higher destiny than he. That Carl doesn't trigger. Talking about Carl, where is Carl? Crazy Carl's not coming back. Okay. So he doesn't crack the immunity, and he can redraw it. So let's see. But at least his destiny will count, and he has 4. Yeah, he outpowers him by 4. By 5, because of the dark time. And And there is the watering hole, which adds 1 again. Is it to total? Total. Okay. Then he didn't need the dark time to shut off Carl, but he definitely wanted it to, that he basically forces him to lose something. Do not get too much overflow. His guys are... But he probably also did it to... because his guys are immune to less than 4 too. Yeah. Well done. But still not a great place to be. And now moving this guy out to satisfy ultimatum again. Resistance, sorry. Ultimatum is the light side counterpart. So it's still a drain of 2, 2, 2. 6 force again. But you can't count them out. He's still... I mean, after the drain, he's behind, of course. At the moment, they're even in lost pile. Although, board presence favors light side. But now he can at least pull his ship again. And probably try to set up space at Bespin because, Null Hutter is... He can't compete with the Dinjarian in space.
I'm back.
There is Carl. Look, Carl, who was lost, who was forfeited from battle. I know. The one with the same name. You were forfeited.
But I've been retrieved. It's fine. Not yet.
Yeah. You don't have much power because, so.
This feels more and more like it's spot on.
But you have a great ability, so.
All right. So we're in Brian's activate phase, and.
Yeah, he will drain here for 6 again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Sam losing space, or were you gone already?
Yeah, I was watching along. I just had to,
okay.
answer a phone call so I could keep my job. So I watched the battle with Zuckus excluding fingering Maz, which I thought was interesting. I probably would have excluded Cal, but it turned out not to matter.
Yeah, I talked about this, but probably because of the -1 from Mars, he maybe thought he needs at least to get to 4 to at least get rid of something. Maybe that was the... Yeah. But yeah, they are both... You would probably want to exclude both. Dan asks, well, if we've seen Celebration, we saw Celebration lost, I think, to the first drain, where Sam paid to drain at the audience chamber. And he peeled the Celebration.
One of them went out turn 3, and I wonder if Brian's just holding it for like later.
At the moment, he can't deploy it anyway.
Right, because he's not on enough battlegrounds. And I think that's a key decision. It's like he wants to survive at some of them and keep that drain of 2 at the security tower, because it's just pumping through damage. So I could even see Brian get a little greedy if he has another path to maybe spread Yoxkid over to the 1-0 just to get another drain in now that Sam is satisfying resistance, unless Brian's going to do something about that this turn.
You probably would go with Dash there, because then he can't attack Dash, but Dash can react to a battle.
That's right.
So probably if he wants to spread the other way around.
Yeah. They both know what Brian's reserve deck is.
But it's
Destiny will be.
but it would be still risky because I haven't.
Mhm.
We saw Probot for Destiny. I don't know if we saw him lost, but he can pull a spy. Oh man,
Kendall Holman's favorite card.
that's not something you want to see as a alien player.
Yeah, I'm checking here, and it looks like Sam did lose Probot early on to a 4-string.
He definitely lost Afra, which would be a
Yeah.
second spy. But why risk it? Why risk it when you're
Yeah.
Brian? You train for much more.
So
Okay.
with Leia Rebel Princess going down in front of Zuckuss, and now we have Yoda, Keeper of the Peace, going down in front of Django, limiting them both to 1. Effectively nullifying Django's piece, but here comes the Imperial Barrier.
He plays another barrier.
Because we know Brian has Lando with a heavy pistol in his hand because he redrew it in the battle last turn. He's
But
probably not wanting to play it so that way Django won't get it. They won't get 2 destinies there, but
so any thoughts why he wanted to bury the Yoda?
probably just to keep that battle from happening because they knew the destiny might have been good enough. And with the ad, let's see.
So we have 1 to total, and we have -1 from him.
Yeah, because Maz was gonna subtract 1, Ancient Watering Hole was gonna add 1. I wonder if Sam just didn't want to have to peel. I don't think there was a scenario he was gonna lose both. Because I doubt it was a 6.
Maybe he wants to dig for a hidden weapon now, and that's why.
Sam's playing hidden weapon. That's spicy.
Don't you think he plays hidden weapon? So I would definitely run some.
Most of the current CCT builds I've seen don't play hidden weapons, but doesn't mean you can't.
So he adds 2 with Anson. Yeah, he also opponent.
Oh yeah, it is +2 with Maz. So that's why. If he knew it was a 5, he knew it was probably going to be both.
So Ryan Sesson says Haven, Afra, Folom. I think he also lost Haven already.
Haven was one of the first things that he lost.
Yeah.
I think it was the drain on turn 2. The same turn he lost Forlom, and then I think the next turn he lost Probot, and the following turn was Afra.
So Sam is just recycling stuff.
Mm-hmm. So Brian did a switcheroo in space, and he moved Hark over to Nalhutta, moved Leia's resistant transport to Bespin, shuttled down Ray down to the docking bay. So Sam activates everything but 1.
So at the moment, Sam doesn't even satisfy resistance because Suckers should have no presence here.
Right, and I'm trying to think of. So P59 is probably the only out that I haven't seen yet to go down in front of Leia.
So he lost
and
P59.
Okay.
And didn't retrieve it. just checked in while searching for the card.
Yeah.
So I lost Probot. He lost P59. He lost Forlom. Not a lot of droids left.
I mean, he can't Ellis. I mean, if he has, he could Ellis IG over there. That'd be interesting. That doesn't feel like a winning play. Yeah, Leia Rebel Princess coming down at that point kind of puts Sam in a precarious spot.
I think we will see a move to this side now to retrieve 2.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine Zuckuss will move over in front of Rey.
We also saw Stinger lost, yeah.
Oh, so Guri could be around somewhere.
Yeah, but we saw Stinger lost too, so... yeah, but he could play Guri, right, to attack. That would be...
Good call, Ryan. I didn't see Stinger go lost, so...
I think it was Sting... Was a Force Stinger from reserve deck, yes, and nothing retrieved.
We do see Sam come down with Slave 1 and Mitt to the docking bay. I imagine they're going to pick up Zuckuss and fly away.
Yeah. And there is Guri we talked
Guri.
about. Interesting. Yeah. He could also... But then he would... He might lose something and he would have had to save something to attack with. But Guri is good because then he can't draw 2 here.
I mean, it's... Sam's having to spend a lot of extra force to deploy those to the docking bay. Because you're paying the tax at Bespin. So it's, fine. He must be doing this as, a calculated measure because he needs enough oomph to survive in space. So
I mean, it's the only way to get a buff for ability in space to draw at least a destiny. Mm-hmm. So what he might have done is activate 1 less, go with Guri here, attack, hope that you don't lose anything, and then move over and then fly up with both. Would he have enough? No, he wouldn't have. He would have be 1 force short.
Yeah. So Brian's pathing Leia over in front of Django and Hondo. And so
yeah, this means that it doesn't satisfy resistance now. Correct. Because no presence here means we see a drain of 2, 3.
This would be a drain of 8, 9?
2. I think that's only 2. 2, 5, 7. It's 8, 7, 10. 10 even. And here 3. So 2, 3, 5, 8, 10. Right?
Yeah, because the carbonite chamber will be 3, the security tower will be 3, no huddle will be 2. Yeah, and the docking bay platform will be 2. So,
but a very nice move from Brian. You have to think about that he, giving up the drain here, but adding instead, but adding much more, of course.
Yeah. I mean, Sam's activating another one to see if he can find a magic bullet. Brian's activating everything because he's just going to drain and, probably get his other celebration out, play it, make Sam waste another card if he has it. But yeah, eating a drain of 10 is going to be rough.
There's not much you can work with 10 force.
And Sam's only got a 2 card
when he lost 10, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we will see the GG.
I don't know. I think Sam's the type to play it out.
Yeah, but there's no real reason to play it out, I guess, when you add 3 or 4 force.
Yeah.
But Sam got a little bit unlucky. He had when did he get his IG88? Was it
It was
turn 5 or something like
5,
that?
turn 4 or 5.
4,
It was pretty
yeah.
late. All right, so we've seen Accelerate get played used. He lost CAD and Aura, then Dengar, Comscan, Lady Proxima, another Accelerate from hand, Mara Jade with Lightsaber, and He's All Yours Bounty Hunter. And Woof, and He's No Good to Me Dead.
So you know what would have been a boss move from Brian Fred if he would have get him down to 4 force and then drop. But
I mean, that's pretty funny. I mean, at this point, you retrieve one. Maybe you play Celebration. You have 10 card hands. If he pays to drain, now we see the corridor come out. You just drop a guy, have a barrier, and you probably still have your Hujix. Here's Calfast coming down to the West Gallery. Like, yeah, this is.
Yeah, it just spreads out. He probably moves someone here, lets the layer here. And
I mean, you leave Leia in front, you move Yoda over to the 1-0. Ketwall's going to the 2-1.
At this point, he's just showing off.
I mean, he's protecting his ancient watering hole drain. But yeah, I think at this point, he's just. It's
yeah, but
at this point.
I mean, they played out.
Yeah. I actually saw Brian 2 weeks ago. I went to Indiana for the Nell Hut Estates, and we were talking about Ancient Watering Hole and just how it, with this deck and the way it's set up, it just really, if you can survive the initial punch, just those swings and turns where you're getting 9.
That's why I said if you want the first pull, probably just to survive, and then I mean, they even add at the non-battleground sites, which is, I mean, you can park here and drain for 1.
All right, so we do the shuffle with the Resistance Transport going back to Nelhada. Yax gets going over to the 1-0. Dash is staying at the security tower. I mean, Maz moving over. Let's see if Brian remembered that he'd lose a force if he, goes to the guest quarters. He did not or doesn't care. Yeah. You just lose something from hands, which is fine. Yep.
Man, look at this.
I mean, there every side, and then there's spreads.
Every side occupied.
Yeah.
That's a rhyme.
That can be your next song.
Yeah, we should make a hip hop track with that line.
Yeah. So Sam recycled We Must Accelerate, but I don't think it's the bottom card. I think he put one other card. Maybe it is the 5.
One last battle. He probably says. Get rid
Brian's
of one
gotta
side.
Have a barrier. He's got to have a barrier. Oh no, it's not gonna matter. Blastdoor controls it out, so fine. He's got a Hujix.
He maybe has another pass of the least resistance, paying 3. But then he lost the minigame. He didn't occupy every side if he moves away from one.
True. I mean, Jar Jar's in space, so he can't deploy to the prison, and no one's at the bridge, so Brian lost that game, but he's going to win the war.
No one's at the bridge? This, you mean? Which bridge?
The blockade flagship.
Yeah, it doesn't. Just Cloud City. Yeah, in the chat they do mini math games and counting the drain. Brian. Yeah, it's
all right. 2.
Oh,
5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right, so we see
okay.
Prince Caesar salad come down in front of Ketwall at the North Corridor. If he has his third path, you just path Yoda over and say, I don't care.
Okay,
Even if you have to pay 4.
he didn't pay to drain, which indicates that he just wanted one last battle. And it not pay to drain, pay to retrieve.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one destiny, if not able to otherwise, from rescue the clouds.
So it's the any methods necessary, the activated for the 4. Okay. That wall dies.
That's
Caesar
not.
salad does
That's
not.
enough because of the +1 again.
Oh, +1. Yep.
And he satisfies all the battle damage.
Mm-hmm. Now you just move Django in front of. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
At this point, a daddy even moves. Yep. Okay, he is.
Moves here and probably to Figrindan.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we have 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 13.
Brian's gonna get one more differential, so it'll be plus 18.
Yeah, if it would be game 1, but it's already game 2. And so Brian won both games. Great showing from both of them. So Sam made the top 16. Did Brian make the top 16 last year?
Or I believe Sam? He did.
Okay. So both.
No, I don't. Oh yeah, because he had to play. I think he played Kessling last year.
Maybe I played Sam. I think in the semifinals, I played against Sam.
Eric Hunter was so close because resistance is in effect. It's only a drain of 11.
We forgot about that.
Did we?
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Two more.
And that'll do it.
And there is the GG. But from Brian. Man, Brian, you can wait until Sam says it. But yeah. GG now, and he's drained out. No force left.
Yep.
2 in hand. So, yeah, it was nice casting with you, Carl.
Yeah, sorry I had to step away.
Maybe next time with more preparation for us both. But
possibly,
yeah, at least someone streamed it.
For putting this together.
Yeah, thanks for letting me stream. So see ya, and thanks for watching. Oh, my hair. What the? Bye.